Welcome back. In the previous lesson, I added some testimonials and some features to our product page. Now it's time for the next section, which is the gallery. But before that, I want to add a small call to area section right here, which will basically ask for a name and password for a 30-day trial subscription. So jumping back to the code editor, after my container ends right here, I'm going to do another section called trial. Section. I'm going to use a well. Now, a well is very much like a panel, but it has a darker background. So div class well, and inside I'm going to do a container because I want to properly position my content, and text center to center all of my content on the page. Now I'm going to start with an H3 and a paragraph, something like that. Next, I need a form, and I'm going to use the inline form. So form class form inline, role is going to be form. I'm going to create a form group with a label with a class of SR only, so only screen readers will see it, plus an input. So the label is going to be for subscribe name here, and the input is going to be type text. Let's give it a class of form control, and let's give it an ID of subscribe name. So whenever we click on the label, this input will be selected. And also we need to add a placeholder, of course, of name. All right, so this is ending the form group. Next, I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to ask for the email. So subscribe name, I'm going to change this to email, email here, and email address here. And finally, I need a button. Type is going to be submit because I have a form. Class is going to be btn, and let's do btn default. It's going to say subscribe. All right, let's check it out. And there it is. Now I'm just going to add a small text under the button, a small text with em, and this will say something like this. So basically a text saying that, we're not going to use your email address to spam you. Okay, let's refresh. And there's the well. Now let's move on to the gallery. So for the gallery, I'm going to do another div with a class of container. And I'm going to say gallery. Next, a section with a div with a class of page header with an ID of section gallery, and that div will contain an H2 and a small. So the H2 is going to say gallery, and the smaller text is going to say something like this. Okay, let's check it out. Good. Now for the gallery section, I'm going to use a carousel. So I'm going to start with a div class carousel slide, and this particular markup should be very familiar to you by now. I'm going to say gallery carousel, and also data ride equals carousel. Okay, inside I'm going to start with the carousel indicators. Set the data target and also data slide 2. Okay, let's do ×3 since we have 3 slides. I'm going to change this to 1 and 2, and also add the hash sign, which I forgot. And also the class active on the first indicator. Okay, next it's going to be the actual slides. So div with a class of carousel inner. I'm going to have a div with a class of item, which will have an image that points to images slider.jpg, and the alt is going to be slider image, plus it's going to have a div with a class of carousel caption. That's going to say this is a caption. Okay, so I'm going to do this times 3 because we have 3 slides. So expand that. Oops, I forgot to put the source here. Okay, so slider 1, 2, 3, carousel caption, div item. I'm going to set this one to active. And let's check it out. Okay, now finally add the left and right controls. So for that, a class left carousel control. href is going to be gallery carousel, which is the ID of our carousel, and data slide equals prev. Inside, do a span with the class of glyph icon and glyph icon chevron left. Okay, and the second one, it's going to be right here and next here. Okay, so that is the working carousel, and the gallery section is complete. Now, in the next lesson, I'm going to take care of the FAQ and the contact area. So I'll see you there.